That we bring in Steve Hilton, Republican candidate for governor of California, Leslie Marshall, Democratic strategist and Fox News contributor, and David Marcus, Fox News digital columnist, wrote an interesting piece on Trump 2.0 for us. Thank you very much. Good to have all of you here. Leslie, let me ask you about what Karoline Leavitt was saying there. Why should the federal government, why should the state government stop the federal government from implementing immigration law?
You know, Martha, the problem here is the majority of people, even myself included, want to see violent criminals deported. We don't want to see 4-year-olds with cancer. We don't want to see American citizens like the 28-year-old woman who was apprehended and pushed down, who's 9 months pregnant. We don't want to be having lunch and having to hide under a table because ICE comes in with riot gear and machine guns. I don't know all the weaponry they're using and face masks. The problem here is who and how. The people that voted for the president, in the Latino community especially, they voted for the president wanting the murderers and the rapists and the violent criminals to be deported.
Of Americans
and
in recent
these
polling,
are not
Leslie,
the people.
66% say that people who are here illegally should be removed. And I know you're pointing out some stories that are sympathetic. However, the bottom line is, and Steve Hilton, let me bring you in on this because I want you to respond as a Californian to what Leslie is saying is actually happening here on the streets as they make an effort to remove not just criminals, although they have put their focus on the worst of the worst, but they are also sweeping up sometimes people who are with them who do not have proper documentation. Some of them have licenses that are long expired and they're driving around California. What do you say to her suggestion that some of these are inhumane?
Why is any of that happening? It's because of the sanctuary state policies and law that we have here in California, made even worse by the sanctuary city resolutions that places like Los Angeles have passed. If you had cooperation between state and local law enforcement and federal law enforcement to remove violent criminals who've already been given deportation notices and been through due process, none of this would have happened. And on top of that, you've got the totally feckless response once you get to a situation when you have local activists using these situations to try and inflame protests and violence. Then, instead of clamping down on it, again for political reasons, the leadership here, if you could even use that word to describe them, Bass and Newsom, are not jumping on it to control the situation. Instead, I've been talking to law enforcement sources here. You have law enforcement officers sitting in a parking lot for 15 hours right at the start of this, waiting for orders to deploy that never came because of political posturing by Newsom and Bass, because they didn't want to look as if they were helping support ICE. They put law enforcement officers' lives in danger, as well as the property and the community. It is unforgivable what they did. It was entirely political.
David Marcus, to this idea, and let's let Gavin Newsom articulate this for a second, that this is like a test. We heard this from Karen Bass as well, to see how many more National Guard, federalizations we could see across the country. Watch this. I want to get your thoughts on it.
California may be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next. Democracy is under assault before our eyes. This moment we have feared has arrived.
David, your thoughts on this and something you wrote about, very interesting, about how President Trump has approached this very differently than Minneapolis.
Yeah, as I was writing my column about this, I was reminded of The Godfather 2, and there's a scene, it's Anthony's confirmation party or first communion party, and Fredo's new wife is sort of acting up and a little drunk, and Fredo is told, either you deal with this or the family's going to deal with this. That's exactly what Donald Trump did here. He said to, except Fredo is Newsom and Bass, he said to them, there's the National Guard, they're over there. You either, to Steve's point, let the LAPD go do their job, or the National Guard's going to do it. Now, thankfully, it seems to have worked. We don't have encampments like we saw over the last 5 years. When these streets have been taken over, the LAPD has done a good job of getting them away. And so I think this has been a great success. The biggest success would be if we don't need to use the National Guard. And hopefully that's the way this will finish. But yeah, Trump 2.0 in this case absolutely fixed his previous mistakes.
Yeah, doesn't the deterrence, really quickly, doesn't the deterrence, Leslie, of having these troops on scene calm things down, make the city safer for everyone?
No. On Thursday, and I live here. I know Steve's in the state, big state. David, I know that you've been here to cover things, but I live here each and every day. My son has a volleyball tournament this weekend, 1 block from these protests, and the police tell me it's fine and he and everybody coming in for it are safe. There's a couple of things. One, Steve talked about the politicization. Why is this not happening in Dallas or Houston or Atlanta? Why are we not seeing ICE or the National Guard, going in there? Second, National Guard.
Because they're not
ICE
sanctuary
operations in
states,
Florida
Leslie.
this week,
Excuse me,
Leslie,
I'd
they're
like
all
to
over
finish.
the place.
I'd like to finish.
They're in Boston, they're in Florida, there are ICE operations all over the place. And maybe the reason that it's safe to go to the volleyball tournament is because the National Guard is protecting the streets.
On Thursday, it was safe, and when ICE came in, they fired the first shot, and that is what happened with those rubber bullets. And then you saw, and although it's terrible, some that had a violent reaction, which is completely wrong. And this has been handled wrong. You should ask the governor of a state. The governor makes that decision of any state, red or
didn't make a
blue,
decision.
whether the National
when
Guard
it
comes
came
in
time
or
for a
not.
decision,
And
there
using
was
the
not a
military
decision.
is completely wrong.
Yeah, there wasn't a decision, and then we saw what we saw. So we will continue to cover it. Thank you all.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.